Ping have now got two hollow head design irons in the G700 and the i500. They're both designed for distance, so shall we see which goes the furthest on the golf course? Let's get into it! Right, so we're on the 14th at Hickleton. I'm just going to hit these golf clubs, and whichever one goes the furthest we're going to deem as the longest hollow-headed ping iron. For the G700 I'm going to use both Bridgestones. The G700 I'm going to use red sight lines. For the i500 I'm going to use blue sight lines. Let's go G700 first. Do you know, it comes off this club face like an absolute rocket, that G700. It's a crazy golf club. i500 next. Not quite as springy, that one, but still an absolute bullet. That's going to be interesting. Right, well, this is a bit mad. So here, next to this hump, we have G700. And here we've got i500. And if I was to just get in like a straight line here, this is a bit ridiculous, but I don't think there's anything between them. So that's i500. G700 might have just nicked it, but it's literally 1 yard. And if anything, that's in a little bit of the rough, so that might slow it down a touch. What we're going to do now, we're going to kick them both to here, which is the middle of the fairway. We've got about 220 up to the 14th green. We're going to see which one gets closest to the green now. Do you know, I'm not saying that anyone's won that. I'm just going to say that's a straight draw. So it's currently still 0-0. Let's go G700 first. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like a metal wood. Right, that's about 40 yards short. Weren't the greatest of strikes, it was a tiny bit thin, that one. So let's see if the i500 can just do it. Horrible strike. Tell you something, that's surprising, that's up there. Let's go and have a look. Right, so i500 went a little bit left, and despite me hitting it quite poorly out of the toe, it's managed to keep up with what I thought would be the bigger hitting G700 again. So still nothing between them. This is a bit mad, really. So now we've moved across to the 15th tee, arguably the most scenic hole here at Hickleton. And I'm not taking any prisoners this time. I'm just going to straight try and whack both of them. It's 0-0 currently because I'm not separating them from them two shots there that we saw on 14. This is going to be a straight up smack fest. G700. Smack fest. Bullet again. It's a bit faded though, could be in trees. Okay, just crept into the trees, that one. i500 next. That is a ripper, and that one's found the fairway. Let's go and have a look. Shockingly enough, it's incredibly tight again. This is i500. That is G700. But because it's more on the angle, I'm going to have to give this one to i500. But again, it's only by about 2 yards, something like that. Both very impressive distance, these clubs. The tee is all the way back up here. So I'm going to guess that they're around about 200 yard shots with it being slightly downhill. So very impressed with these two. They both sound quite kind of clunky, but this is what they're designed for. They're not designed for ultimate feel and spin rates and stuff. They're just designed to go further. So for what the purpose is for these irons, I think they're mint. More so than the G400 though, I am very impressed with the i500. I think its sleek looks and distance that it offers, it's very impressive. Right, I've just come to the top of the 16th fairway. We've got about 185, so I'm going to hit both of these and I'm just going to see how they react on the green. A little bit downhill, but 185 is very in range for these two clubs. And they're both 7 irons, can you believe that? Right, here we go. G700 first. That's a bit pushed, that one. Let's see where it lands. Ooh. Could be nasty, that one. i500 now. Middle of green, 185, 7 iron. I know it's downhill, but that's mega impressive, that. That's where we've got G700, probably pin eye, just a little bit pushed. And then we've got i500, look at that. And just look at this, right, so I know that we're coming from a slightly elevated ground. You can see that this is the hill that we've come down. But 185, 7 iron, and this is how much time it's took for the ball to come to rest. It's about a foot. So I'm guessing it's had a little bit of backspin on it, but because of the high descent angle that it's coming from, it's stopping so quickly. Some club this, you know. In my i500 iron review, which I will leave a link in the description below, you'll see that I'm quite critical of the i500 iron, but it's proper growing on me, you know. I think the lack of spin was worrying me at the start, but if you add into the bag the high descent angles, you don't have to worry about the spin necessarily. They're coming in high and they're stopping, so they're winning me over, these, definitely winning me over. But of course this is a which goes furthest video. Now we've come to the 17th, this is the last hole that I'm going to do in this challenge. We've got 185, it's slightly uphill, and that flag, as you can see, is tucked back left. Right, I'm changing it up a little bit now. I'm going to go i500 first. Sweet strike, just right centre of green, that one. Okay, a little bit short, maybe 190 uphill is a little bit too much to ask for the i500. We're going to go G700 now. Very similar kind of line. Ooh. Almost an identical shot there. Let's go and have a look. Right, so conclusions. The i500 has the distance of the G700, which is the most distance orientated iron that's been. It has the looks of a blade. It has the forgiveness of kind of a mid-range, mid-handicapper styled iron. I don't like that term, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. And it's got enough land angle when you're hitting them to stop them on the greens, even though it doesn't spin that much. So it looks like a blade and it performs like a, I don't know, a slightly bigger cavity. G700, I must say, is your pure long donger iron. So if you want to hit it further, you want maximum forgiveness, use this club because it looks mega chunky. You put it behind the ball, you just think, wow, I'm going to smack this 8 million yards, and most of the time you do. On this occasion, the G700 has actually just gone that little bit further than the i500. i500 might have finished in this front part of the green, landed quite softly, maybe come back a little bit, but it weren't too far away from the G700. So on that occasion, this is kind of what I've been expecting all the way around. G700 just pips it for distance. So there you go, that was the G700 versus i500 ping irons, which goes the furthest. If you've liked this video, please like it. If you could share this to your friends, show them kind of what I'm doing, that'd be much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed already, could you please do so. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Cheers.